Ukrainian forces take full control of Lyman, a strategic supply town in northern Donetsk, after Russian forces left due to a fear of being encircled. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hails the opening of a new gas pipeline connecting Bulgaria with Greece to boost the region's energy autonomy.
Latvians are voting in parliamentary elections amid ongoing tensions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A protest in London against the soaring cost of living in the UK as new Prime Minister Liz Truss insists her fiscal plan is the way forward.
Next to the town sign of Lyman, Ukrainian soldiers unfurled their flag after they took full control of the area. Russia says its troops have withdrawn from the strategic supply town after they were at threat of being cut off. Lyman is situated in the northern part of Donetsk. It's a strategic supply hub for the region, meaning that Russian positions in Luhansk province are now possibly under threat. But the road getting here wasn't easy. For weeks, Ukrainian forces have been driving back Moscow's soldiers across large areas of the northeast. Lyman's capture shows Ukraine is still gaining ground. And in nearby Kupiansk, also liberated by Ukraine, signs of the struggle are easy to see. While Kyiv and Ukraine soldiers are elated at their success in the last few weeks, they have come at a high toll. One soldier said, "This exact area was liberated about 5 days ago. I may be off a bit because this whole period feels like one long day. This Russian tank, there are a lot of Russian tanks here. They were all destroyed by artillery. That troop carrier was destroyed by a kamikaze drone given to us by our Western partners. And the infantry were killed during a gunfight." The Russians left much equipment as they retreated, allowing for normal life, even if slowly, to re-emerge.
Russia has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution condemning the annexation of the territories that Moscow has just annexed de facto. Among its permanent members, all voted in favour of the motion. Ambassadors to the UN then took to the floor to vent their frustration.
Yet again, Russia has abused its veto to defend its illegal actions. Council members have voted in different ways. But one thing is clear. Not a single other member of this council recognises Russia's attempted illegal annexation of Ukrainian territory. Russia's veto doesn't change that fact.
We are tired of repeating it again and again. Allowing Russia to avail itself of the right of the Soviet Union to veto decisions of the Security Council effectively prevents this body from exercising its primary responsibility under the UN Charter, maintenance of international peace and security.
US President Joe Biden reiterated his support for Ukraine.
America and its allies are not going, let me emphasize, are not going to be intimidated, by Putin and his reckless words and threats.
The US Congress also approved $12.3 billion in aid on Friday to help Ukraine battle its invasion by Russia.
Of the European Commission.
In a welcome boost for gas autonomy in southeast Europe, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen welcomed the launch of commercial operations for a Greek-Bulgarian gas pipeline in Sofia. She said it was key to breaking away from Russian energy.
A new era for Bulgaria and Southeast Europe begins. Bulgaria used to receive 80% of its gas from Russia. That was before Russia decided to launch an atrocious war against Ukraine and an energy war against Europe. This pipeline is a game changer. It's a game changer for Bulgaria and for Europe's energy security.
The branch pipeline connects Bulgaria to the southern gas corridor, which is linked to gas fields in Azerbaijan. It will not only benefit Sofia, but surrounding countries too. As winter approaches, the prospect of gas shortages is increasing. This new pipeline may ease some of the worries of countries in the region.
Latvians are voting in parliamentary elections in the midst of ongoing regional tensions caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Observers say centrist Prime Minister Krišjānis Kariņš' new Unity Party is the favourite to win the poll. The theory is that support for the populists, Conservatives and Social Democratic Harmony Party has weakened, possibly because of the latter's close relationship with the Russian-speaking minority. If Kariņš triumphs, he's likely to have to look for a shake-up of the current four-party coalition to form a government. Over 1,800 candidates from 19 listed parties are in the running for the 100 seats in the Latvian parliament. Just over 1,000 polling stations are open across Latvia, with a further 81 across the globe. Latvians will be voting amid the shock of Moscow's aggression in Ukraine, which has impacted the Latvian economy and revived mistrust of the Russian community in the country. NATO is strengthening its presence in Eastern Europe, and earlier this week the alliance carried out military exercises in Latvia. In central London, hundreds of demonstrators gathered in protest at the soaring cost of living in the UK. The country, like many others, has been hit by rising energy prices, but also by a government mini-budget that's been widely criticised for favouring the rich more than ordinary working people. Protesters shouted "Enough is enough" at the rally, which was supported by many non-governmental organisations as well as labour unions. But the government insists it's sticking to its plans, and it was business as usual for the new Prime Minister Liz Truss on Saturday as she greeted her Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen to discuss the gas leaks from Nord Stream pipelines. Nevertheless, pressure is mounting on the UK's new leader. Just over a month into the job, a poll by YouGov found that just over half of respondents said she should quit. That's unlikely to happen, but after the mini-budget, regarded by even some in her own party as disastrous, the critics will be hard to ignore. Truss admits her fiscal plan aimed at growth has caused disruptions, but insists decisive action was taken to control the UK's finances.
Over a dozen members of Burkina Faso's army seized control of its state television late Friday, declaring that the country's coup leader turned president, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, had been overthrown. Burkina Faso's latest military power grab follows in the footsteps of neighbouring Mali, which also saw a second coup in 9 months after the August 2020 coup. Iranian state-linked media reported late Friday that up to 19 people, including a commander in the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, were killed in an attack by armed separatists on a police base in the eastern city of Zahedan. It was not immediately made clear if the attack, which unfolded in the day as crowds had gathered at a nearby mosque for Friday prayers, was related to the nationwide anti-government protests gripping the nation. The US women's basketball team have been crowned the 2022 World Cup champions, beating China in the final down in Sydney, Australia. A'ja Wilson scored 19 points and Kelsey Plum added 17 to make it 83-61 and secure its 4th consecutive gold medal. This was one of the most dominant teams in the American storied history, that has now 11 gold medals to its name. Saturday marks World International Coffee Day. And as the world's largest exporter of coffee, it's an important day in Brazil. Also in Colombia, the largest producer of mild-washed Arabic coffee in the world, and the 3rd largest producer of the bean overall, after Brazil and Vietnam. Fabio Sanchez, a coffee grower, explains the characteristics of Colombian coffee.
Colombian coffee has qualities such as notes. Within these notes, some are wine-like or even citrusy.
Las avinadas, las afloradas, las cítricas.
Within the scope of International Coffee Day, cultivation, harvesting workers, coffee trees, harvesting and production processes were displayed in the Nyeri region of Kenya, famous for its beans, at an altitude of 1,800 metres above sea level. And in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, they celebrate the coffee festival over 3 days, held to support Yemeni coffee production. The festival presented different varieties and presentation styles. Indonesia has also been betting on coffee for 2 decades. Roasters are located in a passage named Pasar Santa in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. and have been exporting Arabica, Robusta, Liberica and Exela coffees since the early 2000s.